Good morning, traders. Welcome to this video on the euro dollar and pound dollar. My name is Chris Forsick from Elite Currency. Hope you had a wonderful weekend and time to relax and digest the news from Friday with non-farm payroll, NFP, and unemployment. I guess slightly negative / neutral. First reaction was up, but not too much. The price was already in our target zone at 118.50, 118.75. It went a little bit above that due to the news, went up to 119, but ultimately very heavy resistance zone. And although the euro dollar showed a little bit of upside during that day, let's take a look at the 15-minute chart. You can see it didn't have that much space, made a consolidation, rejected, and went sideways, and now is slowly moving lower. So difficult zone to break even with that news, and 119, heavy resistance. So as I said last week, we need a strong daily candle above that. What we have is a wick, and I wouldn't say there's definitely some exhaustion in that wick. Of course, selling pressure a little bit of or taking profit. The close was not bearish, so it's not a very strong bearish candle. It's not a very strong. It's not a bearish candle at all, I should say. It's not a very strong pin bar, I should say. But certainly not a good breakout candle as well. So it's in the middle. I would say more a bearish signal than a bullish signal, that's for sure. Also considering the context of the top here, the resistance top, and the long-term moving averages, it's a very strong resistance level. So I would expect a retracement now, as I already mentioned last week, that there's upside to that zone, and then I would expect a bounce back. And the bounce back could go, for instance, to 117.50. which is a support zone, and a potential head and shoulders pattern could play out. So that could be a target to think about in my view, because that certainly could create a response. So back to the 4-hour chart and 1-hour chart. You can see 4-hour chart, price making the dash above the long-term moving averages here after a flag. There was a move up to the long-term moving averages, flag and breakout, and then went to the very long-term moving average here at around 600 EMA. Now we have the 21 EMA, so it could create a little bit of a bounce, but I think that we'll see a higher low here, a lower high, and a dash down, as I said, towards the long-term moving averages. So if there's a lot of momentum here, we should see I should use red, excuse me. Then we should see a flag and then a breakdown to that 117.50 and a bounce. Something like that is what I'm expecting for the moment in the near term future. So in the next 2 days, Wednesday we'll have a new update. So euro dollar is trying to break below the 21 EMA right now, and you can see that I think that there could be some kind of retracement here, but that I would expect a rejection as it moves up around 118.80ish. Shouldn't break above this top, and then I expect to move down towards 118 for the moment. Okay, and the long-term moving averages, as you can see. All right. So if it breaks above 119, of course, that would invalidate my bearish outlook at this moment. But I wouldn't be trading it long. I would want to see a clear daily candle close above 119 and push through this zone for a breakout to the upside. In that case, after that, I would be looking for a bull flag on a lower time frame and a continuation higher on maybe the 1-hour chart, for instance. Okay, in that case, we're looking at a breakout to the upside. For the moment, I don't expect that, as I said, but if there is a strong daily candle, of course, that would change perspectives. In the long run, in the bigger picture, question is this an ABC or a 1, 2, 3? If it breaks below 117, a downtrend could take place. If it bounces at 117.50, that could easily be that this is a wave 1, a 2, and up we go for 3. In that case, a break above 119 could confirm that wave 3. Okay, so for the moment, I'm really not too concerned about the long-term perspective because I expect a move up and then a move down like this. But of course, 117.50 is an important level. If price breaks through it, that's already a first warning that we're in a downtrend. If it bounces, that's a first indication that we might be going for a higher high. But the break above 119 would confirm it, of course, and we could see a pretty big space up to 120, 121, 122.50 for an upside. If we go down, then could be a good space till 115.75 and 115. Okay, so that's my view at the moment. Interesting zone. You can see how price is stuck between these long-term moving averages. So for the moment, a bounce within those long-term moving averages is likely. But eventually it's going to break above or below these moving averages, and that's going to be an interesting move. The moving averages are being squeezed, so the breakout is going to be, the breakout direction is going to give us some information. And always look for a good breakout candle, of course, to avoid false breakouts, because these moving averages are squeezed, so that could happen. All right, pound USD also made the upside, just like with the euro dollar. During the news a little bit, but now retracing slowly to the downside. We had 138.50, 139 as target zone, and it hit 138.90. Went a little bit more than I expected. 138.50 was my main level, but we said 139, a break above 139 is needed for a clear upside. That did not happen yet. The wick is not as big as with the euro dollar, but ultimately it has made a small retracement at this moment. And yeah, it's the 21 EMA is on top of the 144 EMA. We have a higher low and maybe a lower high. So it too is being squeezed. As you can see, look at these moving averages. They're converging to each other. So certainly a consolidation kind of pattern here on the daily chart, and reaching very high resistance. So I wouldn't be surprised if the pound also makes a swing lower and makes a retracement, hitting with 6 level, as you can see here. So yeah, if it breaks above the 139, of course, as with the euro dollar, that would indicate bullishness, but I would wait for a daily candle to confirm the close above that level. If it's sailing here and doesn't seem to break, and then there's a bearish candle like that, to me that would indicate that there's going to be a reversal or retracement at the very least, and it could break then to the downside. It's in a channel, of course, so waiting for the break of that channel could be another option. Or a lower high with a bearish candle, for instance, as I just mentioned. And a break below that could send us down to 137.75, 137.50, 138 for a retracement lower. And with the pound, 137.50 seems to be a good level. In the long run, 137.75, 138. That's not much space. That would be a critical zone for a bounce or not. We have here a level as well to think about, like that support zone coming in. If it breaks below that, if it breaks below 137.25, then we might be looking at a bearish breakout, and a good daily candle close below that could indicate another swing, or at least a test to back to the support zone. If not, a full bearish swing. A break above 139 once again could indicate a move up to 140 and 141 and 142.50. All right, so that's about it on the pound USD. All right, we'll be back with live webinars later today. Wish everyone great trading, and see you in any case on Wednesday with a new update on the euro dollar and pound dollar. Cheers.